So here we are again, and we're going to have another little talk about downwind sails with our catamaran. Yay! So there's a couple of little small changes from last time you saw the boat, and I talked about spinnakers. One of them mainly is that I've actually got my tack line now fitted. That's the orange rope here that goes to the tack of the spinnaker, and it comes out of the longeron here and goes through the clutch, so I can pull it up and down and do all that fancy stuff. It's quite nice, it's quite cool. Makes life a lot more easy and a lot safer. I don't have to climb out on the pole anymore, which is good when you're in the middle of the Atlantic. Yay! Nice day out in the Atlantic on our way from the European side to the American side. Anyway, we're going to talk about this thing and why I have it pinned here and not here. Well, first thing is we're going like proper downwind. We're sailing it as low as we can and as fast as we can, and by having it pinned out to the side here is like having a spinnaker pole on the yacht back in the day. So we'd have the spinnaker and we'd pole it out to the side, so it would allow us to sail deeper or lower downwind. What that does as well is it's exposing. If we look at the center line of our boat here, okay, let's sit here laying down on the trampoline again. So here's the center line on my boat here, and we use our forestay as a bit of a reference here. When I have the tack of the spinnaker attached to here, my mast and my mainsail, which is behind me here, this is also all on the center line. Yeah, okay. This, and the wind is coming from about here. So if I have my spinnaker, this bit here attached to this bit here, my exposed area of the front end of the sail is between the mast here and there, sort of about the same area as the jib, but yeah, pretty much the same area as the jib, but a little bit longer. By bringing it from here to here, I now expose another, how wide's my boat? 7 meters, so another 3.5 meters of sail area to the wind to go downwind. So I've done a good thing. Number one, exposed more sail area to the wind, which is coming this way at it. What I've also done is I've rotated the sail around my boat, so my spinnaker is actually sailing at a good apparent angle, where this sail likes to work, by rotating it around my boat. But my boat is actually facing a different way under my sail, so my boat's facing the right way, more downwind, the way I want to go. And my sail is also happy because it's facing the way it wants to with regards to the wind. So when you're running downwind deeper, it is quite advantageous to bring this out, especially if your boat is not a high apparent wind boat. So we're not a high apparent wind boat. We can drag the apparent around a fair bit, but it is still advantageous for us to do this. And the slower your boat is, the more advantageous it is to do this. Right down to once you start getting into your 4 or 5 knot boats, that actually it's more advantageous to actually have a symmetrical spinnaker instead of the asymmetrical spinnaker, and just pin it to the 2 bows and send it downwind. Anyway, but you'll see how I've got it trimmed here, similar to the last movie I had. I've got telltales here, and you'll see them, oh, they're flying, then they're stalling, then you'll see this is luffing, and then it's flying, it's stalling, this will luff a bit. So I'm right on the edge of being too tight. You'll see the red telltales go up and backwind to them actually flowing And then every now and then you'll see the kite. There it is. Oh, there. Rolls in and snaps back. Rolls in, snaps back. So this, for easy offshore sailing, is quite a nice trim setup, and this is what you're looking to achieve. Now, I'm going to actually have a look at this end of the sail here. You see this end of the sail here? We've got quite a nice little bit of curvy going on. We want a bit of twist because the airflow from sea level down here to the airflow up here is not the same. The airflow down here is slower than what the airflow is up there. So we've got to allow for that difference in wind speed by adding twist. So down here my kite is fairly close in and close hauled to the boat, but up here it's actually twisted out a little bit. I'm probably a little bit tight here because it's quite closed in the head here, but anyway, that's a sheeting angle thingamajiggy, and we'll talk about that in a minute and how I can adjust that by moving my sail up and down. Now let's have a look. Okay, so you can see there's my boat, there's the clue of my spinnaker, and as I go up it sort of goes out and it comes back in, but where it goes back in the kite's smaller, so the exit is still trying to be straight out, exhausting out the back. And you'll also see that the twist in my sail roughly in my main sail roughly matches the twist in my spinnaker. Okay, so these two sails actually need to work together. Now this sail is actually sailing off the wind from this sail. So the wind, while it's actually quite far aft in true wind terms, so if you look at the wind on the water here, the wind is actually coming from here. But because my boat's going quite fast through the water and accelerated, the apparent wind is actually at 90 degrees to my boat. So the wind comes in. Let's have a look at the luff and the curve and everything here. Alright, so you'll see up here, you know, this is not a straight line either. This is curved and open and trying to get a specific sail shape. I'm a bit loose here, trying to project the luff a little bit. Probably a bit loose, but that's because I got the long strop on the bottom and not the short one, and I'm a bit flat in the entry and not knuckly, but that's just because of my setup. But anyway, the wind is coming from 90 degrees, so there's my boat. Wind is coming in 90 degrees, then the sail is turning the wind around, and as it turns the wind around it creates a low pressure on the other side, and then it's exhausting the wind out the back that way, just making me go forward. Now, because the big spinnaker has turned all that wind around, my main sail here is now sailing on the wind that's been affected by the spinnaker. So try and not fall off the boat in the middle of the Atlantic. I got 3 woolies or telltales up here, and I want them flying, and generally speaking they're flying backwards. So the wind's flowing over my sail and exhausting, but it means that I can have my main sail sheeted on the back corner and not right out the side. So let's go have a look at my wind angles on the instrument, so see if I can clarify. Look, laundry day in the middle of the ocean. New Zealand! Well, there's a new upgrade on the boat as well. Talk about that later. Okay, where are we? Oh, back to my favourite little toy, the salmon. Okay, so here we can see, there's the bow of my boat. Here's the wind coming over the back corner at 140 odd degrees. Then you'll look at the apparent wind. It floats between 90 and 100, as that's where I got the autopilot set. So you can see I've dragged the apparent wind, so that's the wind that the boat feels, is here, and it drags it through the big spinnaker, which, if you can imagine, this is my big spinnaker here. Drags the wind in at 90 degrees, turns it around, and it exhausts it out the back. There's my mast in the middle of the boat here, and then my mainsail is like that, catching the wind from my spinnaker. So hopefully that makes some sense, and explains why I have my spinnaker attached to my bow. Oh, where is it? Can't see my bow from here. Anyway, let's have a look at jib sheeting. Yeah. Okay, there's my winch. There's my block. There's another block. So I got not the triangle of death, but the square of death on the leeward helm. My favourite main sheet. My main sheet is actually working like a normal main sheet at the moment, because it's off 1 point and not off 2. So it's like a normal main sheet, but with no traveller. Here we go. As I stumble and fall over the boat. Compulsory fishing rod outside. Okay, so there's my turning block. I follow my kite sheet all the way up, so you can see the belly in the spinnaker, the twisties in the sails, all good, allowing for the wind shear between the wind being at water level or sea level and being 20 meters up in the air. You can see my 3 little pink telltales there flying backwards. Oh, top one just stalling every now and then, so you know I'm on maximum trim. Yeah, so here's the mighty ship sailing through the sea. So here's my kite without the tweaker on it, and you can see with this really bad sun in behind it that the back end or the leech of the kite is just really open and floppy and just all sheeted wrong. So what we're going to do is put the barber hauler on here, tweak it down and make this leech like it's supposed to. Okay, running deep downwind in a catamaran, and while we pin our thingy to the bow, here's a second look at a different setup. So same thing, slightly different. So we're running really deep, so true wind angles 168, 170 degrees, so basically the wind's almost right behind us. Apparent wind just slightly forward at 150-ish, and let's have a look at how we've got the spinnaker set up so that it all works in this arrangement. Right, let's go to the windward side. So there we are, leaving mainland Africa and Europe behind. Bye bye that side of the Atlantic. Yee. Hello Caribbean and American side. Hello. Right, so we have the tack of the spinnaker pinned to the bow here, which I was talking about before. You can see the laugh of the kite, looking all nice and glam, trim not too bad, a little bit over strapped, but you know, we are surfing down some reasonably largish waves, and that becomes okay. So this is one of the disadvantages with having this spinnaker pinned to the bow thing. If we catch a big wave like that one that just rolled past us, when the kite collapses, it's not just the shoulder that rolls, it's a good front half of the kite falls down. It's a very different sort of collapse too. We go forward and there's nothing left to fill the kite, so it sort of just droops and sags down. It doesn't roll the edge in and collapse like what we've seen. I may or may not have shown it on other videos, but if I haven't, I'll have to do some more. Alright, let's go have a look at the back end. There's something I've got set up there that I've spoken about but not shown, and that's my tweaker slash barber hauler. That critter there. Okay, this is an important little critter when you're running deep downwind. So in the front half of this video I showed us with it pinned out. It was actually on this bow. We jibed a couple of days ago. When it was pinned to the bow, but our apparents were still quite far forward. But now that our apparents are actually quite aft, it's really hard to control the twist here. Okay, so when I don't have the barber hauler on here, this section of the kite here just spills out, like it opens right open, and looks like absolute caca. So by putting the barber hauler back on here, it's like basically putting my sheeting block, where that little block is, and I can actually move that block there up and down the deck like this by just moving sloppy waves, moving the barber hauler up and down, because you'll see the sheet lead in and it hits the deck there. If I ease it out, I can make the sheet angle hit where the hatch is. I can make the sheet angle hit all the way until I've eased it all the way out to the back of the boat. There it is. So yeah, that's my barber hauler. Nothing terribly high tech about it. Anna's going to hate me. I'm going to zoom in with the camera. Yeah, zoom in with the camera. There it is on the cleat. Nothing high tech. Clipped out. Yeah. Cool, simple. So there's another bit of our setup.